Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I am James Haskell, along with my co-host, Glenn Martin. DK in the background. This is, Glenn, the finale of the 2021-22 season of the Baltimore Ravens, the regular season. We appreciate you guys joining us and riding with us this entire season. Glenn, how you doing, my man? It's Friday. We made it another week through the work week.
Well, I got to work tomorrow, but you made it through the work week. But
It's true.
I'm a little bit bummed out. I mean, so on Fridays, I like to, as you know, Jimmy, I wear a suit to work. So on Fridays, I finally gotten together my Ravens Purple Friday suit. I got the tie, the socks, got the shoes to accent the suit, and I realized today it was the last time I was gonna to be able to wear it. So that was a little bit. Well, I guess it's not for sure the last time, but chances are it's not looking good because of all the dominoes that need to fall. So it was a little bit of a sad moment, but luckily I had a lot of other Ravens fans I was able to talk to who are also wearing their purple. So that was pretty cool. But yeah,
you rock it in the off season, Glenn.
I can. That's true. That's true.
It would be kind of weird though.
Maybe I will still sprinkle it in occasionally, but not on Purple Fridays anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm excited to be here. I'm most excited of who's coming to town because no matter what happens, this is still Steelers week. No matter what is at stake, this is still a Steelers-Ravens matchup. And so I'm excited about it nonetheless. And I'm most excited about booing big old Ben right off that field.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you, Glenn. I'm extremely excited about the opportunity as well. I'm glad we're going to this game. And really, really looking forward to the opportunity to spoil his. Last week was really genuine, but Ben has known to doctor his emotions a time or two and be a bit dramatic. And I'm looking forward to send him off with in proper fashion here in M&T Bank. Like he shouldn't.
I don't want joyful tears. I want sad tears.
Yeah, and I also want to say this. I'm going to be really disappointed. I highly doubt this is going to happen. But folks, if you're on the edge, like deciding whether or not to get tickets, know that if you don't get tickets, they will most likely be purchased by Steelers fans.
Oh, good point.
And if they come down to
if you're selling your tickets, sell them to a Ravens fan.
Yeah, because they're coming down to M&T Bank. They're going to do their
towels.
Oh, Ben.
I might get into a fight. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. DK, I hope you got my back, DK, because I think James is going to slip out the back door.
Well, look, Eric is coming, and he's known to have fits of rage.
Okay, good. And I know his wrestling background may come into play here.
No, I'm giving him a hard time. He's actually super low-key, but certainly he'll have your back.
Okay, good.
More than me.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good. And if anyone else is going to be in the building, and you see me getting into a little scuffle with a Steeler fan, and you want to help out, I'd appreciate it. But hopefully, we go through this, without any issues.
This is what I'll do, really quickly, Glenn. This is what I'll do. You and the other person will be drunk. I'll say, look, before you do this, there are legal ramifications that I know of very well. I'll give them enough time to pause, and you just give them one.
Because a lot of times in these situations, it's who lands the first good shot. Right. So if you give me an opportunity just to get a good one in, maybe that'll be all it takes.
Wait. What do you think? And then I'll just move out of the way. Baba!
Just let the haymaker come flying over.
Right.
But no, in all seriousness, I hope that I can that all this goes smoothly and that we can end the season on a positive note. Shout out to Steven for hyping up the chat here, saying that if you don't live for 410 Sports Talk, are you living at all? And I think the answer to that question is a resounding no, you're not. So I appreciate you, Steven.
And can we just also say this, Glenn? We'll probably repeat this at the end. You and I think, both got pumped up the other night because while this sucks, the scenario that the Ravens are in, I'm already really looking forward to the offseason. Yeah. And all of the good things and the goodness that can come to the Baltimore Ravens and all the things we're going to be able to talk about. Additionally, guys, we're going to do some really cool live events. Of course, it won't be every week, but we're hoping to line up guests inside that show, make it a real production for you guys to enjoy. So many cool things coming this offseason. So if you don't live for 410 Sports Talk, you ain't living at all, just like Steven says. So we got so much going on that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and we will still be here, even if the Ravens season does end on Sunday.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. We'll still be here with you
You'll
talking all
probably see
kinds of stuff.
more of our videos, honestly, because we'll be able to report on more things, more
Yeah.
speculation, more
Yep.
potential hypotheticals, draft. We got so much to talk about in the offseason.
Yes, oftentimes more to talk about. But shout out to CJ Burney in the comments. Was on our show once before.
Yeah,
So
man.
shout out to CJ. Appreciate you jumping in here and saying what's up. Nana, hoping I can be on my best behavior, and I will certainly do my best because I do want to get home. But I might have some fire water, so we're going to see how that goes. But let's get into this week because this is Steelers week. It's the final game of the season, and there's still a chance and hope for each side here. So both will be playing to the best of their abilities, whoever is out there. So that's where we're going to start, is who's going to ultimately be out there. Every week we review the laundry list that is known as the injury report, and it's getting I guess the only reason it's getting shorter is because guys are being moved to IR, so they're no longer on the injury report. They're on the IR
still
list.
hella long.
Oh,
like, look
my
at that.
goodness. It's nauseatingly. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. So let's break down some of the key points. So quickly, I'll go through some easy ones. Anthony Averett, no surprise here. That rib injury, I don't anticipate him coming back, even if the Ravens are able to make the playoffs. Good news, Bradley Bozeman was a full participant in every practice this week as he continues to come back from the illness. Let's see. Tyler Huntley is a full participant, by the way, who said he was still feeling the effects last week. Didn't eat a lot, was feeling weak, low energy. Says his belly is full, energy is high, and expect him to be at his best this coming game. But I got to ask you about a couple big, and we talked about these in a separate video. So if you want more, elaboration on our feelings about these, certainly check that out. But Jimmy, we know that, and we're going to get into this more. We know how important the run attack is going to be for this game.
Yeah.
How much of a loss is it with Pat Ricard being moved to IR? And it looks like they're not going to have Nick Boyle either for this game. What are your thoughts on losing those two guys briefly?
Yeah, the combination of the two is really brutal.
Yeah.
Because those are outside of our offensive linemen. Those are and maybe even including them, those are two of our best blockers. And so it's really unfortunate. I think the impact will be great. If you think about that play to the left, what was it? I don't know if it was a QB power. It was a QB designed run. Was that on a fourth down? I believe it was. It was like a 4th and 1, a short one when Snoop took it for like 18 or so. And you think about how involved a tight end is in that situation, how involved your fullback is in that situation, and things like and a number of plays, right? So normally when a guy like Ricard isn't in, you'll see one of the tight ends in the backfield, amongst other things. But now you don't have Ricard in the backfield and you don't have Boyle in the backfield. So we'll see what happens here, but certainly I expect that to play a big impact. And just really quickly, I want to get your opinion on that as well. But, we're already talking about Tyler Huntley, but just in case some of you do not know, Lamar Jackson is out this game. He's officially out, just in case, some of you were unaware.
Yeah. And if you could throw that, we're certainly going to, and that is hilarious. Max says, bold prediction, Jalen Ferguson, last player to ever sack Big Ben. You know why that would be, particularly funny is that Terrell Suggs has somewhere around 125 or 130 sacks in his career, and he's sacked no player more often than he has Big Ben. And, of course, Jalen Ferguson broke Suggs' career sack record in college, so it would be fitting it would be a good, round out to his career if Jalen were to finish his last sack be by a Raven and by a Raven who broke Terrell's sack record.
Do I think it's going to happen? To finish Jalen's career as well? Is that what you're saying? Would that be a way to round out his career? Because that's potentially on the line as well.
It could be. It could his Raven career, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But that would be hilarious.
Would be funny, poetic justice, right?
And we're going to see their injury report too, which could and we're going to bring that. But I want you, DK, if you could throw that back up, the Ravens.
And really quickly, once he sacks him, when they're on the ground, they could exchange pot roast recipes or something like that.
That's good.
He slips Big Ben an invite to his potluck.
What's the best snack to eat while you're watching a movie? He's got him down.
He gets all angry. He's at the line the next play, and he's like, he said snickerdoodles. It's Chips Ahoy or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I could definitely see them exchanging recipes at the bottom of a pile. But the big concern I have really going into this game, as I think I have a sneeze on the horizon. Let me see. No.
When Glenn has a sneeze on the horizon, you guys better
Get out of the
look
way.
out.
Get out of the way. I'm like, you ever watch Hancock when she blames the hole in the wall for Hancock sneezing? I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that's how mine is. But the one that's got me the most concerned, the position I should say, right now, left guard, we're dealing with a couple of injuries. Ben Powers still dealing with a foot injury, and he's missed the last few games. He did have a limited participation throughout the week, so maybe that's leaning towards, and I hope it is, because if he isn't able to go, which he hasn't the last couple of weeks, his replacement, Ben Cleveland, also did not practice until I think I saw, it's not showing here, but I believe I saw Friday he got a limited session in with a head injury. So if neither one are able to go, let's pretend that Powers and Ben Cleveland are out. If you're Harbaugh, do you say, Bradley, we need you to slide back to left guard and we need to have Cologne in at center?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, I mean, is that the most or should they leave Bozeman there and put Cologne in at left guard? Like, what would you see as the logical choice if neither can go? Not easy, though. I mean,
yeah, it's a really tough question, but I think it would be Bozeman at left guard. I think he's more versatile. But honestly, would you consider Fabian? I mean, yeah, he wasn't great at center. I don't think he was terrible, but at this point, it's just about fielding offensive linemen. It's not even about like having a luxury of who's good and who wasn't good. The point is that we have no one at left guard at this point. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, I think the goal of this game is you don't want any last week of the season injuries.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah, if you have anything nagging that could get worse, you might want to sit this one out.
CJ, tell him to call you up, bro. Like, I know you got a football pass. You could probably play O-line, man. Get out there. And
there we go.
And tell him to get you a contract. All right? Get out there. Get a contract. We know you got some nose tackle history in there, so
we need all the help we can get at this point. But I love Cakes Mitchell's comment here. He says, manifesting a 5-sack game for Oweh, so Jimbo has to eat the mic. Yes.
Yeah, but he was out all week.
But he's out. He's out. Yeah. He's out.
And then he also corrected a one-day deal. There you go, bro.
Well, maybe we can get in the playoffs. Does it count in the playoffs or no?
Look, call it in the playoffs. That's fine with me. Look,
yeah, because you have no fear.
I'll double down because I'm feeling real confident these days.
Oh, my goodness.
If
eat the whole mic.
I'll eat this. I got 2 new microphone covers for our new mics. I'll eat all 3 of them, bro.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
Damn
no,
it.
No blender included.
I wish we at least made you sweat a little more. I'm a little sad that he didn't keep the pressure on you, because I think there was a moment in the beginning of the season where you were like, is he really gonna? And then the weeks of nothingness kind of made you feel a lot more confident.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steven, though, also in the chat. Steven Unger, who I met at work not too long ago. Shout out to you. Appreciate you coming out. But yeah, I lucky. You know what? We're gonna make another bet next. I need to see you.
Wait a second here. I said this unsolicited. This wasn't a bet.
True. That's true. Well, maybe we can come up with something that's mutually beneficial. Maybe I have something on the line and you have something on the line.
All right, fair enough. I like it.
All right. So let's get into the Steelers side of the injury report, because they do have some things going on that could certainly affect.
This is funny to me that Ben, in his last week ever as an NFL quarterback, he's on the injury report.
That's fitting. He belongs there.
And look at it. Pectoral, right shoulder. I'm surprised he doesn't have both ankles in there, a fingernail, a loose tooth, polyps or something. I don't know. Like, geez, Ben, get over yourself.
I mean, he's got acid reflux. Just look at his diet. There's no way he's not eating a bunch of. He's got it all.
He's like Kevin Malone, who wants to invent an antacid once every 6 weeks.
I'm down for that, by the way.
Just stop eating certain foods. There's no need for. Anyway, point. Oh, geez. Point being, as Glenn sneezes holes in the wall or something like that. I think it's also comical that Ben Roethlisberger was a limited participant in practice on Wednesday, full participant on Thursday, full participant on Friday. Definitely
he's playing.
Emptying the gas tank. I mean, if he's full practice for 2 days in a whole week, Ben Roethlisberger's really going at it.
That's a good point.
Certainly.
Emptying the gas tank.
I mean, he's emptying it all.
Because I don't think he's gotten in a full session of practices throughout the week all season. So this might be his
seasons.
Yeah, this might be his most practice he's had all year.
But are there any names here that
the big one to me is Dan Moore Jr. Their starting left tackle is, I don't think he plays. I mean, he didn't practice all week.
He doesn't play. No.
So if that's the case, right next to him, Trey Turner is right now pretty questionable. He didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, got in a full participation Friday, so I guess he's leaning towards, maybe getting back out there. But if your whole left side is out, that's a big loss. And then Isaiah Buggs, their starting interior lineman, looks like he's going to be out with an illness. So while their list certainly isn't as long as the Ravens, they got some key members on that list, and it certainly could affect how they play.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, but at the same time, yeah. So
you look at everyone else's injuries, and you're like, I don't even care.
Yeah,
you're like, I don't even care. I can feel it. Cake says, if the Ravens win, do you see the crowd giving Ben a round of applause at the end of the game? Hell no. And you know what? He shouldn't even want a round. He should want exactly what he's going to get, and that's going to be some boo birds out there. That's what he should expect. I mean, he's going into the most heated rival home stadium. He should expect to get booed. Now, if I get there and I see a bunch of Ravens fans have sold their tickets to a bunch of Steelers fans and I'm outnumbered, I'm going to be a little pissed off at my fellow Ravens fans. I'm going to say, whoa, wait a minute. Why am I being outnumbered and outscreamed by a bunch of fans? And then, what's really going to make me mad? If I look around and see a bunch of Ravens fans sitting down, not combating those cheers with some boos. So
yeah, what are we, the LA Chargers?
Exactly. We will not be made to be the visitor in our own stadium. That is not going to happen. So I don't care what the implications are, whose last game, what our chances are. We better show out in force and make sure the Steelers know who's the home team on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have to, just for the sake of pride and the type of organization we are and the type of fan base we are as well. So, all right, we got through the injury reports. We're only 85 minutes in, so let's keep this thing going. No, I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, let's
all right,
so we'll go on to some Steelers defensive numbers, right?
Right. So now we'll get to the Steelers defensive matchup versus the Ravens offense. Just a few things here, news and notes on the Steelers defense. So the Steelers defense overall is ranked 21st against the rush. They are 31st in the NFL. Against the pass, they're 12th, and scoring, they're 22nd. So while they've got names and everyone's talking about, the TJ Watt, the ultimate fighter that he is, UFC champion of the world, people's elbow throwing TJ Watt about to break the sack record. They're not the greatest defense. They're not even an average Steelers defense, I would argue. I know they've had a lot of injuries, and that's obviously got a lot to do with it, but it does leave an opportunity for our offense to make some waves. So, just to give you some numbers to back up those rankings, they are allowing opponents 24 points a game. They're on third down. They are 40%. They're allowing, for 38% conversion on third down, which is not the best. Let's see here. Passing yards, they're at 221. Now that's net passing yards, so 221 a game. And then rushing yards, they're at 140. And for passing, I gave you the wrong number, 220, not 221. So 140 rushing yards a game, Glenn. Brutal.
Yeah, that's the area. If you want to attack them, that's where you got to go, because we all know how they get after the quarterback, and it ain't just TJ. Although he's the big one. He's the one that's the most terrifying.
He's the ribbon winner at the fair. Yeah.
Yep. Now, here's the good thing. Does this make you feel any better? I was listening to Von Miller's post game presser after last week's game.
Are you gonna bring up Pat McCary?
Well, look. Now,
no, it doesn't make me feel any better. Go ahead. Look, you can say what he said.
So was he blowing smoke? Because Von Miller said this year Patrick McCary is playing at a very high level, might be one of the very best right tackles in football. He said he kicked his butt when they played Denver, so he knew he had to bring his A game. He wanted to kind of redeem himself, and of course he had the game-ending sack that ultimately did that. So does that make you feel? Because who was in there at right tackle when they played last time? Because I don't believe it was Patrick McCary. I think it was either Tyree. I think it was Tyree.
Yeah.
But I'd have to.
It was a turnstile at the subway.
Exactly. So does that make you feel any better?
I mean, I guess, but I mean, TJ is just on a different wave this year, and I think the only way we get away from it is we get rid of the ball, or Snoop just takes off. Like, we have to be purposeful in not letting him get that record. Not that McCary isn't good. TJ's just been ridiculous this season, and I mean, it's incredible. So I don't know. I don't know if it makes me feel too much better.
Yeah, I mean, he had 3.5 sacks last time we played him. Chris Wormley had 2.5.
But I do think that Snoop, because he does have to, because of his constraints, like he has to play within the system. So I do think he gets the ball out a little quicker than Lamar Jackson. Guys, for those of you who want to kill me for that, not a knock on Lamar Jackson. But point is that, like, because he is, he does less improvising. I think, I don't know what the numbers are, but I would bet that his release is he gets rid of the ball faster than Lamar at this point.
And I do have a bit of bad news. McCary did start in that last game.
Oh
gosh. Now, I don't know if that was one when he got hurt, and I don't exactly. Let's see the snap counts for the Ravens. Sorry about the delay here. Where is he? Patrick McCary. Okay, so he must have gotten hurt because he only played in 54% of the snaps, and Tyree played the other 46. Okay. So maybe all those sacks were against Tyree Phillips, and Patrick McCary will have a better shot. Maybe I'm just trying to find some type of light at the end of the tunnel here, but I'm going to go with that. So, all right. So the thing I'm hearing is that if you want to beat this Steelers team, you got to be able to run the ball, right? You got to be able to run the ball, and I think that's where it was the Browns last week. For some reason, they got away with it. They decided to put the game in the hands of Baker Mayfield. And
Nick Chubb did something to upset the coach. I don't get it.
Why was he on the bench for Dearness Johnson?
What do we have to do to commandeer Nick Chubb from like a pirate ship in the night?
It would have to be that.
You know what I mean? Like, what do we need to do?
Well, the good thing is we don't need Nick Chubb.
Could you imagine?
We just need our guys back.
You're right. I mean, obviously,
that's it. I'm calling Gus. Are you saying that's it? Where's Gus? I'm calling him. I'm telling him his number one fan is just jumping ship for Nick Chubb.
I want all three of them. You give me all three of them. I want all three of them on the field at the same time with Lamar.
I mean, that would look quite scary, but you only got one ball, Jimbo. You only got one ball. Okay? Oh, come on, man. Football, Jimbo.
I didn't say anything.
It's a family show.
I didn't say a dang thing. I didn't say a thing. I was really close.
And by the way, White in the comments, I can't believe we forgot to say this right off break. Happy birthday to Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
LJ,
25 years old, the most wins under 25 years old in NFL history. Let us remind everyone that Joe Burrow could not have qualified for that because he's already 28 and a half years old. Because he was in college. No, I'm joking. But he was in college
for 26 or 27, right?
He's only older than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And he won the MVP or what did he win? The Heisman when Lamar was the unanimous MVP in the NFL because he was in college for 8 years.
I like how Jimmy looks at any opportunity to take shots at anyone. Now the Bengals are going to be the focus because it's not going to be Baker because he might be there next year. So maybe have one more year.
No, Browns, pay him. Baker's great.
They're not great. If they do that, that would be hilarious. All right, so the Ravens have had moments where they can run the ball. I mean, they're 5th in the league in rushing. I think we all realize that that's a bit of a facade in that, a lot of those rushing yards come from the quarterback position, and a lot of that is off schedule, improvisation. It's not necessarily a designed run, but we have had moments where the Ravens have been able to run the ball. So is that like because I know I'm going to kind of jump right into the keys, talking about the offense, but to me, that's my offensive key. You have to be able to run the ball against this defense. If you're going to decide to drop back and try and whip the ball around, you're going to have to deal with TJ Watt. You're going to have to deal with Cam Hayward pushing the pocket, getting up in the face of Tyler Huntley. And then if you make a mistake, Minkah Fitzpatrick's on the back end waiting to make you pay for it. So to me, you have to establish the run game first. Has to be there. Because if the Ravens are forced to be in 3rd and long situations, TJ Watt's going to be licking his chops. Mm-hmm. And it's got me scared, especially when you don't have Nick Boyle to help chip. You don't have Pat Ricard to help, do some things and pass protection and help when he's going out of the backfield to also help chip. I'm a little scared that we're going to see, because the Browns left their right tackle on an island with him. And after the game, Baker Mayfield was not shy in criticizing his own coaching staff and the game plan to do so. They said, why are we leaving a rookie on the right side against TJ Watt? And so that's what I don't want to see is the Ravens in constant situations where they're second and third and long. And because you need at least a couple seconds for the receivers to get down the field, to get in position to pick up the first down. And a lot of times that's all TJ Watt needs to get to the quarterback. So to me, it's all about establishing a run attack, and then you play action and you use your pass game off of that already established rush attack.
Yeah, fair enough. So
blow my nose through that.
My offensive key to the game is really simple. My offensive key to the game is don't let Watt impact the game. And there aren't too many occasions, guys, where your offensive key to the game is to stop the defense from doing something else, right? Like, I think this is the first time I've said this, but he's really that much of an impact player in every single game that he's been healthy. Not only in sacks, whether that's in, fumble recoveries, whether that's in tip passes, he's found a way to put his fingerprint on this game, on these games. And that's what's made him so special, is that individually as a defensive player, he's changed the outcome of games. And so to me, the offensive key is find a way to mitigate his impact. And not only does their defense become already less than average, I mean, it gets really bad if you can find a way to wash TJ Watt out of this game. Easier said than done. But I think there are things that they can do in order to do that. But one thing that we did kind of forget to do that Glenn will be doing here in a second is reviewing the Ravens matchup in all of this, right? So there are a lot of players to look out for on the Pittsburgh side of it, but we also have some weapons on the offensive side. Let's not act like we can just roll over at this point. I think our offense is going to play well. So Glenn, let's get into the Ravens offense in this part of the matchup, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, let's get into the Ravens stats offensively. Offensively.
I thought I just said that. Maybe
you went right to your key, unless I missed something, DK.
It's possible. Oh, I did mention that we're fifth in the league in rushing. But the rest of the offense, and I'm glad you actually said that, because the thing that I find interesting about the Ravens offensively is that they are 7th in the league in yards, but only 16th in the league in scoring. So, and I think a lot of fans remember a lot of these plays, these fourth downs, these 2-point conversions, shooting yourself in the foot when you get down inside the 20. That's the thing that's bugging me, because it's not like the Ravens haven't been able to move the ball. They've been moving the ball. Even no matter who's in at quarterback, they've been able to move the ball. It's just they haven't been able to finish drives all the time. And that's what's really been holding them back. They've had opportunities where they can go 80, but that's all they get. They get stalled out inside the 5, and they decide to be aggressive, and they come away with nothing, not even 3. So when I see that they're 16th in points and 7th in yards, that's a big problem for me. You don't want to have like you always talked about it, Jimmy. Meaningless yard. What'd you call them?
Empty calories.
Empty calories. You don't want to have a bunch of yards that don't lead to points.
White rice.
Yeah, you don't want yards that lead to nothing. I mean, what's the point of moving the ball unless you're getting it in the end zone or at least getting 3? Right. So that's the big thing that jumps out to me. Now, as far as passing, they're 13th in the league in yards, and they're 17th in touchdowns. And the same with rushing. They're 5th in yards, 9th in touchdowns. So I want to see that gap close, and we don't have a lot of time, so it's going to have to be this game. Yep. But what I want to see is drives not end in empty calories. I want to see drives end in points, whether it's and if it's 3, then so be it, because I think the Ravens defense is going to do a pretty good job at slowing down the Steelers offense. So I think points are going to be a bit of a premium this weekend. So let's see, take everything you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I want to mention is, as far as the offense goes, not only our keys, but our breakout players of the game, the ones that we're predicting, of course, to have big games. And mine is a guy that came out of the gates hot this year, playing with a lot of passion, a lot of fire. He was fighting for extra yards and kind of died down as the season went on and reverted back to who I'll call Marquise and not Hollywood, right? This year he was Hollywood at the beginning of the season when I felt like he was fighting for extra yards, playing hard, playing with passion. And I think he brings that back this game. I think he empties the tank. I think he does really well. I think Tyler and him connect on a few nice plays, and I think Hollywood Brown leads our team in receptions and yards in this game.
Wow, that's interesting because really, since Tyler's coming into the starting lineup, he's shown an instant connection with Mark Andrews and with Rashad Bateman, not necessarily with Marquise Brown, but he is at 981 yards on the season. So I think he'll certainly get to that 1,000 mark. I think the Ravens coaching staff and players will make sure he gets to that century mark because it's important for a lot of guys. And so I think he gets there. But
certainly important for his agent.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He wants that 3%. But I don't think he'll be the breakout player. I just don't see the connection between Huntley and Hollywood right now.
No love connection, huh?
No love connection. I'm going to go with Mark Andrews, who everyone seems to love, no matter who is at quarterback.
Yeah, you're really going out on a limb.
Hey, look, this is the last game. I want to be right on all accounts, okay? So I am going with the easy picks, and I'm going to go with Mark Andrews. I think it's clear that when Huntley needs a big-time throw or a big-time catch, he throws the ball to Mark Andrews, like everyone should, because the dude is an absolute magnet when it comes to the football. And once he gets the ball, we don't have to worry about him going down easily. We don't have to worry about him ducking out of contact. We don't have to worry about any of that with Mark Andrews. This dude will take on tacklers. He will drag tacklers, and he will certainly get the most out of every opportunity he gets in yards after catch. So I'm going to go Mark Andrews here, and I'm going to be right, and you're going to be wrong. So let's get into the offense.
Says the man with less than
Pittsburgh
30% accuracy or something like that. I know you're looking ahead. I
don't think it was less than 30. I think now you're taking it to a whole nother. I think it was less than 40.
Oh, I think it was less than 40. Fair enough.
30. Now you're just trying to hurt my feelings, and I'm not going to let it happen, Jimmy. I'm not going to let you do that to me. So let's get into the Steelers offense, and I'll start there, and I'll let you talk about the defense of the Ravens.
Yeah.
So offensively for the Steelers, they rank 21st as far as points and 24th in yards. So neither one are necessarily they're certainly all in the bottom third of the league. So this is not something we're used to seeing from a Pittsburgh Steeler team, and this might be the reason why Big Ben's hanging up the cleats after this one. Because passing, again, 16th in passing yards, 16th in passing touchdowns. So middle of the pack, average. Not something we're used to seeing from the Steelers.
Yeah.
And then this is something that really blows my mind. Despite having Najee Harris, so I think we all agree he's a player. I mean, the guy's a player. Whether he should have been taken as early as he was by them, or maybe they should have built things. That's debatable. But the guy's a player. The guy doesn't miss games. He doesn't miss snaps. Can you what? Are you going to debate me whether he's a player?
Is he a little overrated by how many touches he has, though? Like, is it a little bit inflated? I'm not saying he's not a player. He's a football player. But, like, this is the only thing I'll say. He's getting a ton of shine. And is it fair to say that a guy like that was undrafted, let me see, number 35 from the Baltimore Ravens, if he was healthy, wouldn't do at least the same, if not more? Like, you're the one that says all the time, Glenn, what's the average you should have per carry? Like 4 and above?
At least 4.
And what's he at right now? I know going into this last game, he was 2.9 or something like that. Not 2.9, like 3.9, but he was under 4 before the last game.
Yeah.
And he had a bazillion touches. So my point is, like, I think he's good. I think it's a little inflated because he gets the ball so many dang times. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you that he's got a lot of opportunities, but
he doesn't have much in front of him either. So I got to give him credit for that.
You know as well as we do, it starts with the offensive line. And their offensive line, where would you rank their offensive line heading into this season?
Yeah, they're terrible. Yeah,
and
that's why. Yeah,
and they don't have a guy with like Big Ben who typically could back you off with some deep down the field passes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that. So the defense loads the box, and they focus mainly on him. But he's got almost 1,200 yards on the ground. He's got 440 yards in the air with 70 catches. I mean, the guy's a stud, and he's played, I think, in 88% of his team's offensive snaps, which is so far and above the second place running back. It's not even close. I don't think anyone else is even above 70. So the fact that this guy has been so reliable, I mean, look, I'm not obviously not a Steelers fan. I'm not an Alabama fan. But when I saw him in Alabama, I said, this dude's a stud. I mean, he's he can do it all. He can do anything you need out of the backfield, as well as be a talented pass catcher as well. So he's definitely a guy you got to watch out for. But with that being said, with all that being said, they are still 28th in the league in rushing yards, and they're 27th in rushing touchdowns. But I don't think that's a reflection on him. I think it's more of a reflection on the team and situation he's surrounded by.
Sure.
You can disagree, but you'd be wrong. But you can disagree.
I wouldn't be, because look, hold on. Just for a second here, let me sidetrack, okay?
Okay.
How many times have we said, of course, I love Gus Edwards, right? So I'm going to use him as an example. But how many times have we said that when Gus comes in the game, everyone knows exactly what the Ravens are doing? They're giving number 35 the ball, and he's going to try and smack the front of his face mask on the goalpost, right? And what is he? He only averages 5+ yards per carry and 700 yards per season. It's got to be a third of the touches that Najee has. I'm just saying that I do think that because he's from Alabama, it's the same reason why I think that Hollywood gets more national love than some other guys. It's because he was a first-round pick. He went to a big program, right? Like, there's all these things that kind of build up. Najee was the number one player coming out of high school, first-round pick, went to Alabama. Now he's got 1,000+ yards, but on 800,000 carries. So I don't know. I'm just saying I think he's a player. I don't know if he's like. I'm just not ready to.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
let's see what happens next year.
Look, I'm just saying this just really quickly in the division. Stay with me really quick. Chubb, Hunt, right? I think I'd rather have both of them right now over Najee. That's just me. I'd rather have Kareem Hunt than Najee Harris. Healthy JK, healthy Gus. You can argue who you'd rather have.
The difference is he checks a lot of boxes, so he's
one guy.
Exactly.
Right. I understand all of that, but I mean, even Joe Mixon, I don't know if he's a top 3 back in the division.
I mean, if you want to argue that Joe Mixon's better than him, I can understand that. If you want to argue that Nick Chubb, you'd rather have him, although as a pass catcher, I don't think it's that close, and that's why they have Kareem Hunt. But after that, it's so much. It's hard for me to say because, like you said, Gus Edwards, his highest career carries in a single season is 144,
right?
Whereas Najee Harris this year has 296. So you're talking about 150 more attempts, and that's just counting rush attempts. Now you're talking
not even
targets,
right? Yeah,
and you're saying, it's not even the same ballpark.
And I know it's not pertinent to the conversation. We'll get into this in the offseason, but I do think that there's a little bit of mystique around him because of who he was coming out of high school, who he was in college. He was a first-round pick, and things like that. And the national media has to push this narrative because they don't even watch the other guys if they're not on that level of Najee Harris, right? Let's be honest. But I don't know if he's all that in a cat's meow yet. We got to see this. Is all I'm saying.
That's true. Okay, we can wait a little bit. By the way, I had to put somebody in timeout. I had to give somebody a slap on the wrist, a little slap on the wrist for old Matty. Had to go in timeout. He was talking real reckless. I love how these fans come out of just complete irrelevancy, and they finally have a team. I mean,
I didn't even see it. Who's his team?
He's a Bengals guy, and of course he's cracking slick. He's running his mouth, but it's just hilarious because they could not. They were the picture of futility. If you had to put a picture of the shittiest franchise, they would be up there. They were the last team to get an indoor practice facility. When's the last time they won a playoff game? Can we look it up? Because holy smokes, I think I was in Pampers, and I'm 34 years old. So, it's just anyway. It's just funny. It's like the old saying: you give someone a bit of power, and you see their true colors. You give fans a little peek at success. By the way, haven't won a playoff game yet. Give them a little bit of success, and you see some true colors here. And so the trolls are out, but nonetheless, in timeout, we'll see if he comes back after his little slap on the wrist, see if he can control himself and behave. But all right, let's get back into it.
Where are we at here?
Well, I think we pretty much summed up the offense for them.
Did. Okay. Yeah. I'll get into the Ravens defense if you want.
Okay.
All right. So want to get into the Ravens defense here. Give you some stats. Ravens defensively 25th overall in the league, and first in rushing still, and last in passing. tied for
Wow.
20th in scoring. So, worst passing league in the NFL, or passing defense in the NFL, best rushing defense in the NFL. Based on the fact that Ben can't pass it more than 7 yards, this could bode well for the Baltimore Ravens. I doubt Najee does anything very impactful in the rushing game, and he'll probably average under 4 in this game. But that is, his season average anyway. So, just a normal game for Najee Harris. No, I'm totally kidding. I actually like the kid, but I'm tired of putting the cart before the horse. So anyway, I just want to name I can get into numbers, but for the sake of time, I want to name a couple players, and I do want to jump ahead to my defensive player of the game because I have something exciting to say. But Glenn, we have the third oldest defense in the NFL. A lot of defensive players here could be playing their last game.
Mm-hmm.
Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, Justin Houston, Jimmy Smith. Who else am I missing here? Anthony Avertt's obviously not healthy. Anthony Levine is another one. DK, put it in the banner below if we're missing anyone. But my point is, look, Calais Campbell is going to be, we talked about this season being empty in the tank. This game, he's going to be pancaking guards. He's going to be doing a lot. He's going to be showing out. Same thing with Brandon Williams, because if you've heard Brandon Williams recently as he's made public appearances, he knows the writing's on the wall. And he's already been talking about how proud he is of what he's done here in Baltimore. McPhee's another one, but I think he's out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them, a lot of emotion going into the Ravens game as well. It's not all about Ben's last game. I think that Calais Campbell's a Hall of Famer in his own right. So definitely. I think that's just as fair to say, just as important of a send off. And my defensive breakout player of the game, saying all that about Calais Campbell, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jimmy Smith had an interception against Ben early on in his career.
Oh, probably.
I'm taking Jimmy Smith with an interception. Ben throws all this rinky-dink stuff where his receivers got to go up and get it. They're not getting a ton of separation, so it's like tight 50-50 balls. Jimmy's big. Jimmy's physical. I see him getting his hands on a football, making an interception. That's my breakout defensive player of the game. And just to keep it rolling really quickly again, then I'll pass it to you. My key to defensively is get them to third down. I know that's like a key every game. It's like get them to third down. But because they're so limited in Ben's ability, you kind of know what's happening on third down. He's such a shell of himself. So if we can get them into some third and uncomfortable situations, their playbook, I've never seen a more limited playbook on third down than the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it usually doesn't go well for them. Sure, third and short, third and long, doesn't matter. Third downs, they're not great at it. So get them to third down. The floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. All right. Well, no, I tend to agree with a lot of what you said. I think that they are limited, and you need to get them to third down, and preferably third and long. So my key to the game is stopping Najee Harris, because that's what they want to do. They want to establish the ground game. That way they can have short third down, and they can use that short, quick passing scheme that they've been using over the last couple of years, get the ball out quickly, which mitigates your pass rush, and the fact that they have a makeshift offensive line that certainly leaves a lot to be desired. So to me, it's stopping Najee Harris first and foremost, but it kind of plays into yours, and because I'm hoping they can stop Najee to force him into some third and longs. But I tell you, I got to talk a little bit about Diontae Johnson, because the guy is so quick, so elusive, that he scares the hell out of me, because I look at who we have that's going to be guarding him. This guy can leave you in a hallway standing there looking silly. Now,
do you think he watches any old Antonio Brown tape?
If I was a receiver, I would. Yeah. I wouldn't watch his antics off the field, but as far as his play on the field, the guy's a guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a stud. Yeah. And his route running is really second to none. His boundary awareness, his body control, his hands. It's really.
I think Ben's like, here, turn this on. Just do this.
Diontae is so unbelievable at getting separation. It's really terrifying to watch this guy. How you see defenders just play off him because they're just so scared to get up near him because they just know he's going to leave them. So to me, it's about Najee and Diontae Johnson. Chase Claypool, he's got some run after catch ability. He's got some deep threat of stuff that makes you a little bit more nervous. But I think if there's that opportunity to get an interception, like you mentioned, where Jimmy Smith is got a, I think it's against Chase Claypool, because they're going to try some back shoulder stuff down the field. They're going to try and use him in ways where Jimmy Smith can still handle that kind of stuff.
Right.
He's a big physical guy.
Right.
And while Chase is fast, I think that Jimmy can kind of play off him, jam him a little bit if he has to play up on him, and mitigate some of the deep stuff. But I think they'll try some of that back shoulder stuff, and I think that's where he has a chance to get his hands on the ball. But my defensive breakout player, I'm going to ride another hot hand. I'm going to go Chuck Clark, coming off a 2-interception game. I think he's going to feel himself a little bit. He's going to realize
you didn't want to go with PQ?
Hell no. Hell no. But I think what's great about Chuck Clark is I think he may have just unlocked his – he might be like, look, you know what? I can be more of a playmaker. I can take some more chances. I can trust my instincts, trust my film study, and not always worry, well, am I going to be out of position? Trust your film study, trust your instincts, and let's see if you can continue to build on what you did last week and maybe expand as a playmaker on the defensive side instead of just being known as the smart guy who never makes those mental errors. Let's see if you can become more of a playmaker. And so I'm confident that he'll continue to build in that area.
Interesting. I like it. Hopefully he flipped the switch and said, F it. Let's see what happens. I'm going to roll with my instincts. Like you said, certainly a little bit of a shot of Ed Reed in his arm there. So yeah, interesting stuff. All right, Glenn, let's get to our competition. This one's going to be fun. But before we get to our competition, guys, it's the end of the season. And I'll tell you what, Glenn, do you know of a better time than right now to get some money in sports, to invest in using your sports knowledge? I mean, I don't. It's just crazy to think about, because there's never really a bad time. But right now, guys, there are teams that are tanking and there are teams that are making playoff runs. So if you're interested in making some money in sports and you're not a gambler, or if you're tired of losing money in sports gambling, check out Symbol. The link below will take you right to Symbol, and then you can use our promo code 410. What it will allow you to do is deposit up to $500. You don't have to do $500, up to $500, risk-free. You can get it back in 6 months if you lose money. But Symbol is really cool because just like the stock market, you buy low, sell high. You can buy stocks of every team that you like in any major sport, college and professional, and you get game winnings after every team's victory. So right now, Glenn, I mean, I think it's a good time because teams that are tanking are going to get good picks in the draft. And what's going to happen when they get good picks?
That stock is going to fly.
Yeah. And teams that, if we think are going to make a run in the playoffs, like, we have some stock in the Bengals. As much as we don't like the Bengals, we have a couple shekels in the Bengals because we like.
Hey, if I was a Green Bay right now, dude.
Yeah.
They look tough.
And find us if you think the Chargers can get in and make a run, like they might be one that's priced right that you think is dangerous enough to make a run, and then that price goes up if they make a deep run, something like that. So if you got a hunch, if you got a trend, if you know sports, invest in something that like Glenn said before, make a couple bucks and check out Symbol, guys.
Absolutely, and do so risk-free for the first 6 months and first $500. So
absolutely,
why not? What do you have to lose? So we certainly suggest you go over to symbol.app, use promo code 410, and enjoy yourself. But let's get back to the most important part of all of our preview shows, and of course, that is the competition. And this is a big one. It's the last one. So whoever wins this one will go into the offseason feeling like a winner. And as Lisa Ann just said, Glenn will win. And I agree with her. I think she's 100% right. I'm going to win this week. And I'm going to have the belt, the title, all off season. And I'll make sure I remind you guys that I do have that. And shout out to Tyler Nickel, by the way, who's going to his first Ravens game this Sunday at the bank. Shout out to Tyler. Hey, if you see us out there, we will be there, and please say what's up to us.
Yeah, DM us on social media if you're coming before the game. We'll be doing a little bit of tailgating. Come by, say what's up. For the sake of my young son, mask up. But other than that, come by, say what's up, and we'd love to chat up with any of you guys. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. We'll let you know where we're at. The other thing, Glenn, before we get into this competition, the winner of this competition will not only get a shirt, we'll also get a hoodie.
Dang.
It's double jeopardy this week, son.
Oh, dang.
I'm just saying.
That's big time right there. Yeah. That's big time right there because, as I said before, I got about 1,000 hoodies, Ravens, Nike, Under Armour, you name it, I got it. My favorite hoodie is 410. It's not because of the number. It's not because of the logo. It's because it's genuinely my favorite hoodie. I like it. I love the short. The hood's not too long. I don't look like a wizard when I'm walking around with my hood on. It's soft. It's perfectly fitting. So, yeah, certainly. And the way you participate is simple. You wait for this live to be over, and you put a comment on the video with your prediction of the over-unders, as well as your closest to the pin predictions, or you simply message us on any of the major social networking platforms with your predictions. We'll announce the winner in our live post-game show. And then you simply message us with your address and shirt and hoodie size, and everything will just show up on your front door. So
that's right.
It's really simple. And really quickly, Steven, I'm not. You know what? I don't want to insult you by butchering your last name, so I'm just going to say Steven says, "Do you think Lamar takes a hometown deal so Ravens can keep a solid surrounding cast so he can uphold his promise of quote, you gonna win a Super Bowl with me? Believe that." Well, I tell you, that's almost a show in itself, Steven. I mean, that is the golden question.
We'll be talking about it.
Yeah, that is a huge question. I don't know if right now we have time to get into that because it's such a big question. But I'll say this, I wouldn't be shocked to see Lamar do something that most players would never do. I would not be shocked at all to see him take what's perceived around the league as maybe less than he should get, because he doesn't have some of the same pressures and influences that a lot of those guys have. He doesn't have an agent, a traditional agent, who's going to, push for not just his own pockets, but also for future players, and making sure that you're always pushing the market and increasing the money and salary for every player at your position. That way you help the next generation. He's not going to have a lot of those same pressures. So I just don't think he's going to do what every player does. He could not. So that's my big thing, is that I wouldn't be surprised to see whatever he decides to do. But ultimately, I don't think there's any chance that he's not in purple.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It will be unique. It will be Lamar Jackson. His fingerprints will be all over this deal, and it'll make it friendly enough for him to win. That's what he wants. He wants to win. So, Steven, stay on the lookout. We'll talk about more of this in the offseason, but we appreciate the super chat, so we didn't want to ignore your question either. We believe that Lamar Jackson will give himself the best chance to make as much money as he can, while also without diminishing his chance to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, because what's most important to Lamar Jackson? Winning or the biggest pocketbook he can get?
Yeah, I think it's about winning. If it were about the pocketbook, I mean, he'd have more endorsements, which he could easily have.
He could clean up right now.
He doesn't even have a shoe deal.
Yeah, so clearly money isn't the driving force, but a lot of times money is a sign of respect. So I'm sure he wants to make sure he has that respect. But all right, let's get into our over-unders first, and then we'll move to our closest to the pin. So let's start with our offensive over-unders, and the first of which is going to be the Ravens rushing yard total. So DK set the rushing yard over-under at 109.5 yards. Last 5 games, the Ravens have averaged 114, and their game last with Pittsburgh, they had a total of 107. So that's kind of the logic that came behind DK ultimately putting that at 109.5. And we know the run game is an important factor in this matchup, because that's the weakness of the Steelers defense, is their ability to defend the run. So I'm going to say over. And I think that the reason they'll go over is not just, of course, the running backs, but I think Tyler Huntley, now that he's back to feeling 100%, he's got his energy back up, I think that he's gonna have 30-something by himself. So I think that ultimately they go above that, and I think they go above that by a pretty decent margin. I think they get somewhere around 140 is my prediction. So I say over. What do you think, Jimbo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going over as well. They're just not good against defending the run. I mean, that was just really my logic. I'm not even concerned about the injuries we have up front. They're just not good at it. So I'm going over.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see here.
Boys,
DK
I'll be right back. I
got
to blow my nose.
Look at that. 2 nose blows in the same. Look, would you make yourself the highlight?
No, wait. How do I? DK, make Glenn the solo.
There. Oh, look at that. No problem for him. Made it look easy. All right. So the next over under offensively is the Ravens pass catcher receptions high. So you name who it is, whoever has the most catches. Oh, I guess while Jimmy's gone, we can certainly talk to Tone the Virgo. All right, Tone the Virgo says, I think the Ravens will actually pull this one out. by 3. Beat on Big Ben one last time, send him off to retirement the right way. Well, I'm certainly rooting for that to be the case. I think there's no better ending to Big Ben's career than his last game his last game at home in Heinz Field. He beat the Browns, which he's completely dominated the Browns his entire career, so that was fitting. And then he comes to M&T Bank and he gets waxed by the Ravens. I mean, what more fitting end can you have to a career than winning at home and getting beat in your most hated rival's home stadium? So, Tone, I hope you're right, and I'll be pulling for you. And I tell you one thing, I don't care how much respect, because I do got respect for the guy, what he's done. There's no doubt about it, for the entire Steelers organization. He's one of the most consistent organizations, if not the most, over the course of history. So got to respect what they've done, and Big Ben has killed us in a lot of situations. But I don't care about none of that. I will be booing his big sloppy ass off the field, just like every fan should do when your host hated rival is in your stadium. So, Tone, I agree with you, and I will be sending him off into retirement the right way with some boo birds. But let's get back to the over-unders here. So the second one is, of course, Ravens pass catcher receptions high. So whoever it could be, anybody who catches passes for the Ravens,
right? What's
their high? Does Mark Andrews get to 9 receptions and go over? Or does Hollywood, lead us with 8 and fall just shy of that over-under?
The real question is, do Hollywood or Mark get over this number or under this number?
Well, it could be Rashad Bateman, too. His connection with Tyler is pretty substantial. Okay. I mean, I see your point. It's definitely those two guys and then a big distant drop to get to Rashad. But it could be him, because they certainly have a rapport. I'm going to say under, though. I mean, under 8.5 is a lot. But the reason DK got there is because over the last 4 games, the leader has been between 7 and 11 catches, and it's pretty much always been Mark Andrews.
DK, where are you going? I'm curious. Under as well.
Of course he's going under. Hey, he looked at mine, cheated off of mine. Of course. Yeah. I mean, we've seen this 1,000 times throughout the year. He cheats off of me. Anyway, you know what? I'm not going to get into it because I see what he has prepped and ready, and I don't even want to poke the bear enough to get that put up on the big screen, because, I mean, really, we don't need that. But all right, so we all agree there. We're going to say under, and I think we're all going to hope we're wrong, right? I mean,
yeah. Definitely.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Well, maybe not. Right. Tyler has a way of getting wasn't it under Tyler Huntley that James Prochet had the career game of his? That
he had like 6 grabs. Yeah.
So Tyler definitely spreads the ball around. So as long as you're moving the ball at the end of the day is what it's about, right?
That's all that matters. Yeah. And if it's a bunch of guys, then so be it. All right. Defensively, the first over under is Big Ben sacks. So how many times do the Ravens get to Big Ben and bring him to the ground? Set it at 2.5. I'm going to say
really quick. Now you got Lisa over here thinking that DK is really cheating. Lisa,
I'm not being dishonest. No, she's 100% right.
No, he had his answers in there before.
No, but he's changed his answers since he saw mine, and even DK can't say I'm lying when I say that.
That is true. But
exactly. Enough.
No. That is not fair to DK. That's not fair. That's not fair.
All I'm saying is
he did it to make it interesting because he's been beating us so much.
Make it interesting. No, he does this every stinking. Anyway, you know what? We're not here to talk about DK and his tactics to winning each week, which are a bit questionable. We're here to talk about, is Big Ben going to get sacked more than 2.5 times or less than 2.5 times?
No.
So you say under?
Adafe Owe is not there. McPhee is not there. We got Tyus Bowser and Justin Houston.
And Jalen Ferguson.
Give me a break. Brandon Williams has a better chance of getting a sack than Jalen Ferguson.
Jalen came pretty close last week.
Yeah, well.
All right, look, I'm going to say over. I'm the only one that has faith in our defensive front. And you know what? It doesn't have to be necessarily our defensive front. Isn't Ben like the
fastest at getting the ball out? He's going to get rid of it in 0.8 seconds, Glenn.
If he is, that's the only thing he's the fastest at. Yeah,
that's true. And he's the fastest at getting on the golf cart.
Yeah, this slob is not fast at pretty much anything. But you know what? They're going to be over. And let me tell you why. Their sacks are going to come from unconventional places. Tavon Young is going to get a sack this week.
Takes time to get there.
You know, he's going to get there, and we're going to see him just on the back of Big Ben.
Glenn, just really quickly, I'm throwing you a lifeline here.
What?
Are you sure you don't want to change? Look, just think about how fast Ben gets rid of the ball. For better, for worse, he's going to avoid sacks.
No.
All right.
No, he's not. The Ravens have been. Look, we called this a kitchen sink game for a reason. And Wink is going to draw some stuff up. There's no doubt about that he's going to see some stuff we haven't done all season. And for that reason, we're going to get – look, let me see what we did last time we played them. All right, last time we had 1 sack. All right, look. Let's not let facts get in the way of where I'm going with this, okay?
Man, you're really a politician tonight. You don't want facts.
I don't want any facts to get in the way of where I'm going, okay? He's going to get sacked more than that because it's his last game. And who is the legend of the game, Jimbo? Who is the Ravens legend of the game?
He ain't playing. It's T. Sizzle, of course.
Exactly. And who sacked Big Ben more than anyone in history?
I'm telling you, you're going to lose the whole competition on this here.
No, you have to honor your legend by getting to Big Ben's ass, okay?
All right.
And look, I know your mom's going to be mad at me because I've used like 2 curse words today, and she's going to be pissed. Okay, so I'm sorry in advance.
And she counts pissed as a word, so as a curse word.
I'm up to 3. All right. Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Haskell. I used some foul language, but nonetheless, they're going to destroy him. They're going to destroy Big Ben.
I feel bad.
He might not even make it off the whole game.
You've dug yourself so deep in a hole. This is not a shallow horse grave like the White Shroot would dig. This is a deep underground hole to China.
Hold on. Who's the best at these competitions?
DK?
DK. What was your original answer to this very question before you cheated and changed it? Go ahead. You can tell the fans. Because if Mr. Genius over here, DK.
No, look, I don't know what either of you are picking, but I'm just telling you, this is the easiest one of the competition, guys. We're not stacking him over 2.5 times.
Oh, yes, we are. No, he's not making it. I was on the fence. You couldn't have just said what the answer was. Look. Big Ben, you know how Big Ben's leaving this field? On a cart. He's getting hit so often, he's not making it out of this game, okay? We're going to send him off the real right way, and we're going to make that big baby cry, okay? All right? And he's going to be crying tears of pain, all right?
All right, what's the next one? Glenn,
let's get into the final.
I feel bad for you on this one, my man.
I feel bad for. I can't wait for this show when we wrap this game up because I'm going to be coming for you, Jimbo. When I show you that the faith I have in our defense, you know what? Let's get into the over/under here. This next one, Jimmy Smith total tackles in what may be Jimmy Smith's final game as a Raven or as an NFL player. That certainly remains to be seen, but it could be. And so. We had to put him in there. So DK put it at 3.5 tackles. Does Jimmy get more or less than 3.5 tackles?
He's going over because Ben's going to throw the heck out of the football.
Okay, as simple as that, huh? Yeah, how much over? If you had to guess,
I had 4.5. I don't know, 4 or 5. I think he gets 5 because look, Ben's going to throw it. Then the last game he threw it 37 times in a half.
Mm-hmm.
He threw it 50
all them
times.
You don't think they'll sack him? I mean.
No, because he threw it in 0.2 seconds. It's like holding in a sneeze. That's how fast the dude gets it out. Like, it's ridiculous.
All right. Well, all I know is by the time we reveal this next one, you better have a guess in there, Jimbo, because I don't even see your submission.
Shoot. Why do I always miss the last one?
I don't know, but it's starting to. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, I have something in there. Oh, the yards. My bad.
Oh, the yard. Because we go there next. Okay, we go there next.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull a Glenn on this one. I'm gonna pull a Glenn.
Well, at least you're kind of screwing over DK, so I'm fine with that. And I love the number you chose specifically for obvious reasons. But
yeah,
our first closest to the pin, of course, our last tiebreaker, because the first tiebreaker is going to be the total score and winner. So we're going to start with the total yards for the Ravens, which is the final of tiebreakers. And I'm going to say my prediction is 375 total yards for your Baltimore Ravens. But more importantly, these will be yards that end in scores and not those empty calories like Jimmy mentioned. So 375 of quality yardage. What do you say, Jimbo?
I'm going with the best combination of numbers that exists.
That's it.
410, ladies and gentlemen. 410. That's what the Baltimore Ravens are getting offensive yards for obvious reasons. Tyler's obviously a big fan of the show. Him and I are boys. He'll make sure we get 410.
Okay.
DK, what you got?
You guys are buddies.
That's right. Got pictures to prove it.
That's it. So DK has 400 yards, which if my math is correct, means he basically has between, what is this, 390 or so and 404 or 405. I mean, he's got a bit of a window here. We kind of sandwiched him in here, and I'm fine with that because I'm really getting sick and tired of announcing DK as the show's winner. I'm getting real sick and tired of it. So finally, let's go to our ultimate prediction and our ultimate tiebreaker, and that is, of course, the total score and winner. And I'll start here. I got the Ravens, of course, winning this game. That's all I do is pick the Ravens to win. Okay, not like my buddy Jimbo here, who will
more alternative facts.
Pick against our Ravens, which I'm not going to do.
You should run for office. You should. You are dang good at this. It's ridiculous.
I'm not going to pick against our Ravens, so I got the Ravens.
Except when the Chiefs come to town.
Winning this game 27-24 in a bit of a thriller, a bit of a game that's going to go down to the wire as it should in his final in Big Ben's final trip to Baltimore. But I think the best kicker in history makes this game the winner for the Ravens. He kicks the game-winning field goal in the waning moments, and that's how they win by 3. Total score of 51. What do you think, Jimbo?
Yeah, it's not coming down to the wire because I have so much. Because I have so much faith in the Baltimore Ravens. We win in dominating fashion, 31-24.
Dominating? You're talking about a one-score game.
Yeah, well, you're talking about a 3-point.
Dominating
fashion in that, sure. It's a one-score game, but the Ravens are controlled the entire game from start to finish. Tyler Huntley puts it together. Our run game is on point. We go into the offseason with a high. Ben goes home, hanging his head high in his career, but not on this game. The Ravens with a total score of what's the math there? 55, 54, 55. All right. Wow. So,
now,
Baltimore
Nana,
Ravens win.
Nana,
Henry
just to clarify, Henry will not be there.
Too young.
He's a little
15 weeks.
That's a little young for
even for a baptism. That's a little young. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean it could be rowdy in that stadium. I mean, I have an 8-year-old. I don't know if I'm bringing him to a Ravens-Steelers matchup. Yet.
I just meant like when I go home, I would prefer not to be positive, and potentially pass it to my son. So, anyway, all right,
okay.
DK, what you got?
Okay, he says. So, if anything, DK is predicting the most resounding win with an 8-point win, 28-20 Ravens, total of 48.
Good for DK.
I know, good for him. I mean, he's such,
I like how he's become such a punching bag. And what? See what you're doing, Glenn? He's just gonna put up the graphic on you now.
He doesn't need to. I mean, I don't see really the value in revisiting again past history.
It's loading. You better look out.
The damn music gets me every time.
Oh, get the shoulder shake, dude.
The fact that I have no chance at even getting equal to you, it really bothers me. And my picture, again, can we update the photograph? Look at my picture. Not good. Not a good look. Not a good angle. First of all, I need a vertical. I need someone shooting down, not up. Okay? Look at Jimmy. Yearbook smile.
It's just a picture.
Look at Jimmy, dude. Look at Jimmy. Is that your high school yearbook picture? Honestly.
Glenn, this was the picture taken of us at the same day, at the same place. This is one single picture of us together. You're next to me, bro.
Am I?
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Well, DK smiling all big. I really don't like that.
Yeah, he chose his best picture on that one.
39%, huh? Damn. Yeah. That's not good. That's not good. But let us again know all your predictions, most importantly. Yep. And let me reiterate, you get not just a shirt, but you're getting a hoodie. You're getting a 2-for deal. So best deal, really, the best deal we've offered all season. And of course, fittingly so, since this is the final regular season game, maybe the final game of the year. But we'll have to wait and see about that one. But again, to enter, wait for this live to be over and put in your comment in the comments below your predictions, or message us on any of the social media platforms, which you can see our handles up in the corners here.
And Instagram is not on there, but Instagram as well.
Yeah, you can certainly find us on there as well. And then we'll announce the winner in the post-game live, and then simply email or message us your shirt and hoodie size as well as your address, and they show up in the mail.
Yippers. Have a great one. Enjoy the game. Find us right after the game, and have a great evening.
That was my best one all year. Did you hear it?